Okay, so we're going to try this again. I live in Illinois, for those of you unaware. On June 30th, they had a really, really bad storm. So actually had the sirens going off, the seek shelter sirens. So I got to go through a very small amount about what happened on Raw. So this is kind of the redo video. Okay, so at the beginning they had John Cena, and they showed he's on the 2K15. Man, it's good thing they were able to make up that in less than a day, make that giant poster. He seemed weirded out by it, fans seemed weirded out by it, but as we go into a fatal four-way match, that's right, there's Orton, there's got to be Orton, Roman Reigns, because he's a new hot guy, and Kane. It's a multiple-man match for a title that has to involve Kane. They end up being the main event, and it's a tag match. And no contest. Even though Kane then later did assault John Cena, which had Seth Rollins come to the ring, which had Dean Ambrose come to the ring to prevent him from actually cashing in the Money in the Bank. So those two segments actually worked pretty well. Seth Rollins took on Rob Van Dam again. Great match, solid match. You know, Seth didn't come up looking fantastic, but he came out looking very good. Dean Ambrose cut a promo more or less saying, every time you try to cash that in, I'm going to be there. I watched it with my buddy and I was like, you know, it'd be awesome. JBL talked about, you know, this guy held the case for 282 days. I was like, you think the E would have the guts to run a 365-day long storyline every time Rollins goes to cash that in, Ambrose attacks him, to the point that Ambrose gets to be the first person to never cash in the Money in the Bank before it expires? It's like, that'd be a pretty insane storyline. Because that's one of those things that you could build a storyline like months later, even like a year later. If one of them becomes champion, you could very easily have him come back. But I won the Money in the Bank briefcase. And you prevented me from cashing it for a whole year. You pushed my career back a solid year. You could really build off of that. That'd be really awesome. Nikki had a match against the Funkadactyls. It was a handicap match because Bray quit, which just further cemented the breakup with the Funkadactyls, which at this point in time I'm pretty sure a blind man saw it coming. It's gone off way too long. That's why nobody really cares. That's how sad it is. Speaking of nobody really cares, Miz came back to fill in the role that Hollywood Dave left available. Jericho comes out and lays him out. The Wyatts come out and attack Chris Jericho. That match is going to have some beautiful mic work. And back in the day when Bray was in NXT, this is one of the first matches that I saw from Bray Wyatt that I was like, he is your next big guy. He took on Jericho in NXT. You used to be able to find it on YouTube, and I think it got pulled by the E a couple months ago. Great match, solid. Those two guys are going to put on a sick feud. Period. The Wyatts took on the team of Sheamus and the Usos. Great match. Nice back and forth. Usos and the Wyatts. Chemistry. Perfect chemistry. Sheamus and Wyatt, really good chemistry too. You have two guys who are just, you know, that's what they want. They are two people who, there isn't a left, there isn't a right, they're straightforward. It's like watching two juggernauts. It's like Juggernaut and the Hulk slamming into each other. It works, beautiful, it's great. Wyatt's got the victory. Nice, worked well, solid match. Cesaro, Kofi Kingston. This match was nice, good back and forth. We watch it on delay so we can get through commercials and all that. Didn't know that it ended on the app. Ironically, the post-match vicious beatdown Cesaro game Kofi Kingston was so much better than the actual proper match with Kofi getting the victory. Fandango took on Dolph Ziggler. Summer Rae came down, kissed Dolph Ziggler, which allowed Dolph to get the victory. Bizarre match, kinda pointless. Rusev and Lana came down to the ring and began to run down America like they normally do. And then Coulter and Swagger came down. Swagger got this ridiculous pop. And I was like, this could actually kind of work, potentially. Had Swagger not be kind of on like the downward spot because of all the injuries that people have suffered recently due to what he's been doing recently. He did actually put out Wade Barrett. They showed the injury that happened to take out Barrett for a while, which sucks. You know, Barrett could have becoming the new Edge. Edge, before he became the main event guy, was always on the cusp of main event status, and then he'd get injured and entirely fall away. Really, really sad on that. But another return, it was AJ. She challenged Paige. Now you're probably thinking, alright, that sounds pretty good. It's pretty good. AJ go to Paige and do a title defense. Decent amount of match work. Roll up 1, 2, 3. AJ new champion. Hopefully now this leads into an actual feud between those two, because it looks like Naomi will have gone again from like, you're feud for the Divas Championship. Really? Sorry, injury. Feud for the belt again. Really? Yeah, you're gonna feud with your former partner now. That's okay. That's okay. You're really athletic, and you're a great diva. Have you met Natalya? Natalya, great diva, great wrestler. Yeah, Natalya's never really going to get another title run ever again, but she's this great person, does all this great work. She's just never going to hold the title ever again, because that's just how great she is. She doesn't need it. Naomi, you could be the next Natalya. How do you feel about a farting gimmick? So, I think I covered the majority of the matches. So all in all, you know, a decent Raw. My Raw got broken up into 3 individual things on our DVR, because every time we had the, you know, horrible weather, seek shelter sort of things pop up, everything would stop and would freeze. So as I was doing my review, that was actually when like I said, the horrible weather sirens came on. Of course, I'm in an area where we got to avoid the majority of tornadoes and things of that nature. We just had really, really bad storms. So